So now we are going to get on a plane again and we're going to fly from Tassie up to South Australia into Adelaide. And we've got Nikki. Again, check this accent out. So Nikki Jennison has been in the fitness industry for nearly 30 years and she specializes in training women through menopause as well as injury rehab. She has her own studio in South Brighton, which is in Adelaide in South Australia, and she also has online programs. So I'm going to leave it up to you here, Nikki.
Morning or evening, depending obviously where you are. Thanks so much for having me. Well, I think my job is done. I think Mel hit most of those points that I want to say. So thanks, Mel. um, we have a little chat about cortisol. Now, it's really hard to narrow down just one small section for 15 minutes. So I'm going to try my best. Let me just share to be very specific. Okay, here we go. Get rid of that. Oh, come on. Okay. Now, can everyone see this? I've lost you guys now, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, there you are. Let me see if I can. I like to see who I'm talking to. Let me see if I can just get you guys back up again a little bit. Got Heidi as the main smile, Heidi. You're back on camera again.
Sorry about that.
Oh
I
well,
think
do you know what?
because you're pin Nikki, so it's got you with the slide. So whoever's talking will come up.
Okay, I can't see you guys. I'm just going to have to pretend that you're all smiling back at me. So pretty much how to thrive through midlife. I just wanted, oh geez, sorry. Okay, here we go. Now we're there. So how to thrive through midlife. Obviously, being in the fitness industry, there's so much that it encompasses, but one of the main things I think most of my clients will come and ask me about is abdominal fat. So I thought I would look into why, the quick why behind it. There is no real quick why. It's huge, but I'll also go into the what you can do afterwards. So cortisol is one of the main reasons why we store abdominal fat. It does rise during menopause, unfortunately, due to lots of hormonal shifts. And I could spend an hour just talking about that, but I won't. So you'll just have to believe me. That rise during menopause causes storage of belly fat. Now, this is what most people will come and talk to me about. Your belly fat is visceral fat that has 4 times as many cortisol receptors as subcutaneous fat, which basically, I don't know if you've seen, you know, those visceral fat is sort of the deep fat that surrounds your organs. So you may have seen a guy walking down the street and he's got really skinny arms, and it's typically business executives, and that's because they're normally so highly stressed. So they've got skinny arms, skinny legs, and this massive big sort of belly that almost looks like they're pregnant. And it's hard. And that hard fat is visceral fat that surrounds our organs. So it's not the sort of fat that you can pinch, it's the deeper fat. Now, that has more cortisol receptors, which leads to more fat storage. It's a bit of a vicious circle, which then produces more inflammation and stress, and then causes more storage of belly fat. So, what can cause your cortisol to rise? Eating below your basal metabolic rate raises cortisol. Now, your BMR is the calories that your body needs just to survive, to breathe, to eat, to sleep, to sweat, for your heart to beat. That's your base metabolic rate. And a lot of diets go underneath that, which then, yes, you might lose weight incredibly quickly, but you're also going to raise your cortisol. And then you're going to go through this loop and you're going to start storing more belly fat. So long term, not great. Short term, you might lose fat, but long term, you're going to end up storing more belly fat. So again, very quickly go through some of these things. So that is going to increase gut distress as well. And also your gut microbiome are going to suffer. And that in itself, we could talk about the gut for a whole hour as well. But just bear this in mind as we go through the presentation. Now, Malcolm has nailed it on the head with all these things, so I'm not going to go through it. What raises cortisol? Lack of sleep, exercise, too much exercise, toxins, dehydration, mental stress, and food intolerances. So I think go back, look at Mel, see what she said, and you'll be away. And then that all causes storage of more belly fat. So there's plenty that you can do that Mel was talking about that's going to help reduce cortisol, reduce belly fat. But where I get most women that come in, they'll sort of say, oh, what training should I be doing to get rid of this belly fat, or what lifestyle changes? What can I be doing? Because I'm doing everything I can and I still can't shift the belly fat. And a lot of it's to do not so much with, well, it is to do with how you're exercising, and I'll go through this, but it's more to do with your lifestyle. So we talked about this last time I was on. We've got Sarah here. She's an identical twin. We're going to see her identical twin in a second. So Sarah gets to bed and has 8 hours of sleep. She meditates in the morning. She has nice long beach walks. She eats green smoothies for breakfast. She goes to Pilates. She has chicken salad at lunch, lots of protein. She goes to personal training. She's got a great chef that cooks all her food. She doesn't smoke. She drinks heaps of water. She doesn't drink alcohol. And then she gets to bed uninterrupted, no children. So Sarah's having a lovely life here. Not much cortisol going on in her life. Then we have her twin sister, Deirdre. Now, they're same genetics. Are they going to look the same? Deirdre's got a family of 4 kids. She doesn't get very much sleep because they keep waking her up. Her husband's on a disability pension, so she's the only one working. She gets up at 4, she gets the kids out, she drinks a coffee on the way to work. She's stressed at work, she's got 100 emails, her boss is a tyrant. She eats lunch at the desk, then she picks the kids up from school and they're screaming. I love that picture of the kids. And then she's making dinner, she has a glass of wine, because who wouldn't with this day? And then she puts the kids to bed. She goes outside, has a smoke because, geez, she needs it. Then she's actually studying because she wants to get to a better lifestyle. And she's drinking a bottle of wine and falling asleep at the desk and only getting maybe a couple of hours sleep. So they're not going to look the same. Why would they train the same? And this is where we compare ourselves to other people. So cortisol plays a massive part in what we do with training. So if you came to me as Sarah, you're good to go. If you come to me as Deirdre, you're not. So we're going to be training you totally differently. Sarah's got low cortisol, her gut's really healthy, and she's fueled to do her training. Whereas Deirdre, poor thing, hashtag save Deirdre, she needs to reduce her cortisol first. She's got really high inflammation. She's more likely to get injured. And she doesn't have enough fuel at the right time of day to train as well. And she's not body ready. So I'm not going to be training her hard. She's going to be doing breath work. She's going to be going to see Mel. She's going to be walking. She's going to be drinking water. She's going to be improving the food quality and lifting, but not too strenuously, because otherwise she will end up injured. So to reduce her belly fat, she needs to reduce cortisol by doing relaxed, calm exercise. And then she can get into the kind of exercise that's going to help us long term. We all know about bone density. We all know about muscle mass deteriorating as we get older, and it does not have to. Just have to say that. So it doesn't have to deteriorate. Your bones, you've got exercises that you can be doing that stress the muscles enough that then it puts a strain on the bone and you increase, or you keep the bone density, okay? So this is why we want to lift heavier as we get older. However, if you poor Deirdre, you don't want to just go straight into it. We're going to break her. So the lifting heavy, why should you do it? I touched on it a little bit there with the bone density, but it helps to increase your metabolic rate, which declines as we age. So what does that mean? It means that we burn more fat whilst exercising and whilst repairing. Then with menopause, you can have high inflammation from lower estrogen, so high inflammation in your bones, in your tendons. Heavy lifting helps to boost your tendon strength. So it helps to enhance your stability. It's going to support your joints. It's going to help to stabilize your bones, stabilize your start again. I'm trying to go so quick with only 15 minutes. It's starting to stabilize the spine and improve your bone density. So that's why we really need to lift heavy to help keep everything stable, strong. And also, as we age, we lose a lot of our estrogen. So that means that we're at more of a disadvantage with building muscle. But by lifting really heavy, you stimulate more muscle fibers and you create lean muscle mass. So it's not the end of the world. The problem is most people don't lift heavy enough because they're scared they're going to hurt themselves, which is a very valid reason, especially if you're Deirdre. But you need to work slowly up to this and build up to this. So if you're brand new to the gym, do not go into the gym and start lifting really heavy for 3 to 6 reps for 4 to 8 sets. That's not the way to do it. But that is where you're wanting to go long term. So it's sort of a very great area where people will come in and say, what's best for me? And it's person specific. I'm not going to tell every single person to train like Sarah, but this is how we should eventually get to training. There's also quick short burst interval training, because if we start by doing long endurance training, which I see a lot of women do, they go back to, well, I used to run when I was younger, so that worked really well for me, I'll do that. That actually increases your cortisol. Whereas short bursts of interval training, which is like really high intensity, gets your heart rate up, doesn't increase the cortisol. So it helps to pump out growth hormone, counteracts that cortisol spike. So you're going to have less stress and less abdominal belly fat. The other thing I quickly touched on was your base metabolic rate, which I think is so important because I see too many people dieting. So you've got to eat above your base metabolic rate. Otherwise, you're going to start to slow down your bodily functions. So it affects your thyroid and bone formation. It breaks down your muscle. You start to store more fat, and it lowers your metabolic rate, which means you're going to start to burn calories slower. So those are, if you take nothing away from eating more, it's that if you eat too little, you're going to slow down your metabolism and you will start to store more fat. So just take that on board, because I think too many people eat too little. However, this is not the go ahead to go and stuff your face and eat like 4,000 calories. I'm talking about above your base metabolic rate. So maybe just do a quick Google, check what your base metabolic rate is, make sure you never drop below that. To start off with, some people do go up in weight a tiny bit because their body's getting used to that adjustment, and it can freak people out. But you've just got to trust that if you keep like that, your metabolism's going to stoke up. You're reducing your cortisol. So this is what it's all about. It's about reducing cortisol in your system. So in a nutshell, I would recommend heavy strength training if you're exercise ready, short burst interval training, and eating correctly, as well as all the other holistic stuff that mentally would help to calm down and reduce your cortisol. So look at Mel's presentation. If you're watching on record, make sure you wrote those things down. And if you do want a quick, simple fact sheet, then unfortunately, it's got a very long code here. But please feel free to email me if you can't quite get this down. Screenshot it if you can. But feel free to email me, nikki@fitnessfaster.com.au, and that's NICKI, and I can just send that through to you. So if what I've said just now has just all been a bit much, I've simplified it. So pretty much you're starting with reducing cortisol if you're highly stressed, getting a little bit of training in, and then going for those high resistance training sessions, high intensity training sessions to help reduce belly fat. So it's such a massive topic. I've shortened it down as quickly as I can for you guys, and I hope that has helped. Yeah, I hope that's enough to start off on anyway. Oh, good, I've got your faces back. I hate talking to an empty screen.
That was absolutely brilliant, Nikki. Thank you so much. And yeah, poor Deirdre. I mean, so obviously there's been a little bit of a change because last year Sarah was married to Brad Pitt. So
Oh, I know. This
So
year,
she had
this year she's not. We had to be a bit too quick with this year.
Oh, well, it was absolutely brilliant. So thank you so much. And a bit like when I was asking with Claire, obviously you're over here now, but where are you from originally in the UK?
Place called Amersham. So it's just northwest of London, between Oxford and London. But yeah. But I don't know about you, Claire, but if I go back over to England, everyone thinks I sound like an Australian. So all the English people watching this probably think we're Aussie anyway.
Probably do. Oh, brilliant. So thank you so, so much. And that's a great thing because we've got the replay here. Because I'm the same as you, Nikki. I've got a couple of little slides that I'm going to say to everyone, if you've got your phone, just take some screenshots or some photos so that they can contact us or get those resources as well. So absolutely wonderful.